I will take you through the lease processes in Malawi. Here is the outline. We'll look at definitions, important definitions in terms of lease processes. Then we'll look at categories of land, the principal landlord, types of registration, lease processes specifically for educated areas in the cities, then lease processes in terms of regularization, land again in the cities, then we look at the lease processes for land in the rural areas. Lastly, we look at transfer of lease or transfer of land, assignment or conveyance in case somebody buys a property which already has a lease. In terms of definitions, the first one is, according to Land Act, what is land? Land means the material of the earth, whatever may be the ingredients of which it is composed, whether soil, rock, or other substance, and includes the surface covered with water, all things going on the surface, buildings, other land permanently affixed to the land, and free or occupied space for an indefinite distance upwards. In short, lands means everything from the soil down and up. Then let's look at the definition of public land. Means land held in trust of the people of Malawi and managed by government, a local government authority, or a traditional authority. Customer land, this is land which is held, occupied, and used in accordance with customary law. Private land, this is land which is owned, held, or occupied under a freehold title, leasehold title, or customary estate. These three definitions will be very important as we will be looking at the lease processes. Now, what is a lease? According to the Land Act, a lease is defined as it includes an agreement for a land, and any reference to a lease shall be constituted as a reference in law. But that's the Land Act. In simple terms, a lease is simply an agreement between a lessor and a lessee for the lessee to use the property or land for a specific period of time, subject to fulfillment of the agreed covenants. These covenants may include specific use of the land, payment of ground rent, and building within the boundaries. Then let's move to the question that many people ask: what is a title deed? A title deed is simply a legal document ascertaining ownership of land. Ascertaining ownership of land whereby the land is under the private land category and under a leasehold tenure.
This figure is not working. Oh.
Categories of land, according to Section 7 of the Land Act, land is categorized into public land, customer land, and private land. 3 categories. Then the private land has sub-categories, which is freehold land, leasehold land, and customary estate. Now, it has to be mentioned that the granting of freehold land stopped in 2016. Section 9 of the Land Act specifies that freehold land shall not be allocated or granted to any person. So what this means is that since 2016, no one can be granted a freehold title. But the freehold titles that were there before 2016 are still intact, and somebody can do what is called transfer of land. Then let's move to the principal landlord. The main administrator of land in Malawi is the Minister of Lands through the Minister of Lands. But apart from the Minister of Lands, the following also do allocate plots. So it is important to note that it's not only the Minister of Lands that allocate plots. We have also other government agencies that do allocate plots. So the ministry, as the main administrator, can allocate land to a council, and then the council do allocate to Malawians, including people in the diaspora. Apart from the councils, we have Malawi Housing Corporation, then Malawi Investment and Trade Center. Malawi Investment and Trade Center mainly do allocate to investors. Investors being it a local investor or a foreign investor. Also, Airport Development Limited is also one of the government institutions that do allocate land. Another very important point to note is the types of registration. We have 2 types of registration. The first one is deeds registration under Deeds Registration Act. This is done at the deeds registry, whereby you can register any document, including a lease document, for land that is unadjudicated, or in simple terms, land in the rural areas. You can also register a sole agreement, you can register a trust deed, marriage certificate, divorce certificate, a will, a mortgage, a conveyance, assignment, etc. So at the deeds registry, you can register any document. Then we have title registration under Registered Land Act. Here you register at the land registry. You can only register documents in relation to land under adjudicated area. Most of these areas are in the urban centers. And also, once we do adjudication for customer estates in the rural areas, then the land, customer land estate certificates will be registered under the land registry. Transfer of lease, transfer of land, caution, easement charges can also be registered under title registration. Then let's move to this process. We start with this process for a plot that a person has been allocated within an adjudicated area, in simple terms, in the cities or urban setups. One is application for a plot by the applicant. So first, a person has to apply for the plot. Then there's an offer letter, offer the plot by the landlord. This is very important. If the landlord is Minister of Lands, you get the offer letter from Minister of Lands. If the landlord is MHC, you get from there. Some people have been duped by having offer letters on land belonging to my housing, but having offer letters from Minister of Lands. 3, payment of development charges or premium by the offeror. Then the principal landlord issues certificate of completion of payments where applicable. Then getting permission to develop the plot from planning authority. Planning authority, every council has a planning committee. So where the land is located, that's where a developer should get the planning permission to start constructing a building. Continuation, after getting the planning permission, then start developing the plot. After starting developing the plot, then application for a lease. The first application was application for a plot. This one is application for lease. So there are 2 different applications there. Then approval of the application for lease by Honorable Minister of Lands if the plot belongs to Minister of Lands, and then or the CO of my housing if it belongs to my housing. Next will be preparation of the lease documents by the landlord, then executing the lease by both the lessor and the lessee. This is simply signing the lease document by both parties. Then after stamping of the lease documents, stamping is done at the Registrar General. Next is lease registration and issuance of certificate of lease by the land registrar. By the land registrar, because this is land which is adjudicated and is in the cities. When you go to the subsequent lease processes, we'll see that the registration will be done by the deeds registrar because the land is in the rural areas. So take note of that difference coming shortly. Sometimes it happens that land belonging to one of the agencies, but some people squatted on the land, did build buildings, but the principal landlord, instead of demolishing, they say, okay, let's regularize it. We do an upgrade, we do roads, and let people have documents. So, in case that's the situation, the lease process is slightly different to the first lease process. Here, the first stage is inspection of the plot and production of sketch plan by a surveyor, technician, or planner, or technician. This is very important. The sketch plan should be done by a professional, not just another person. These are some of the things that make people feel that the lease process is being delayed because of if you use an unqualified person to do the sketch, then it will be retained. And in the process, we'll will make the process wrong. Then filling lease application form by the applicant. Again, getting the planning approval from the planning authority of the council that the land is located. Next is approval of the application by either the Minister of Lands or the CO, depending on the landlord. Then offer of lease, payment of premium, fees and duties, then survey of the plot, plus production of the deed plan, again by a licensed surveyor, and approval of the deed plan by the Surveyor General. After that, it's the preparation of the lease document, signing by both parties, stamp duty, lease, registration, and issuance of certificate of lease. So you see that some of these processes are similar, just some few differences. The third process is whereby the land is either customary or public land from rural areas. First, it is still inspection of the plot and production of the sketch plan, again by a technocrat. Now here, there's a slight difference from the previous process, where the land is customary land, but as a developer, you want a lease. The forms you fill are two. First is the code form 1, which is consultation with chief's form. As mentioned earlier, that customary land is administered using customary law. So the chief has to be consulted, and there's a form that the village headman and the traditional authority fills. Of course, the DC also signs just as a recommendation recommending the application to the Commissioner for Lands. Apart from filling the consultation of chief's form, you also have to fill the lease application form, which is form 2, by the applicant, and of course the fees are payable. The district commissioner recommends the application to the Commissioner for Lands. If the land in the rural area is public, you don't have to fill the consultation of chief form. You just fill form 2, lease application form. Then the rest of the processes are similar to the first two, whereby getting approval from planning authority, then approval of the application of lease by the minister, offer of the lease, paying premium, survey, preparation of the lease document, signing by both parties, stamping. The only difference is now, this time around, the lease document registration takes place at deeds registry by the deeds registrar. Lastly, it may happen that you buy land, you buy property. When I say you buy land, we have already seen the definition. Land includes everything, even the building and even the air. So it may happen that you buy land and the land is already leased, or there's already a title under freehold status. Therefore, the process will be different from what we have been talking about. This time around, a lawyer to draft the transfer of lease. Transfer of lease, if the land is leasehold. transfer of land, if your land is freehold, these first two are under land registry, title registration. If it's under this registration system, then it's the same things, but we call them assignment or conveyance. Then get a consent or certificate of compliance from the Commissioner for Lands or the delegated officer. A consent is on the leasehold, certificate of compliance is on the freehold land. Get a tax clearance certificate from MRA, stamping by the Registrar General, registration by the deeds or land registrar, depending on what I've said before. Then issuance of either certificate of lease or land certificate for transfer of lease or transfer of land, respectively. Before I finish, I have to mention that this process, the lease process, according to our service charter at the Ministry of Lands, is supposed to take 90 days, which is 3 months. But sometimes it takes longer because of other eventualities, including maybe when a developer engages and professional agent to help him, then we can move back and forth saying this document is not right, bring that document and the like. And again, what are we doing as Minister of Lands to make sure that we shorten the process of getting a lease, mainly from Minister of Lands, even in the process of registering the transfers and the like? We have developed what is called the Land Information Management System. In short, it's called Lease, which was launched by the state president in March this year. We are implementing it gradually. Currently, we are scanning all the documents that we already have and uploading in the system, in the Lease system, so that every transaction should be done on the digital platform. Currently, we have started processing the leases in the system. So far, we have 79 leases which have been processed using the digital system. We'll be scaling up little by little, and the aim is to shorten the process. And in the end, the developer will also be able to know in which office is his lease stuck. You'll be able to know once he registers on the Lease public portal. For now, let me stop there. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Precious Tembo.
Yes.
I would wish if you could also see on the commentary box where members are posing questions that are quite important. Some of us, we do have some comments that we can make, but maybe before I make my comment, let me say that I'm just a messenger, so don't shoot the messenger.
No.
Yes, I'm just a messenger, so don't shoot the messenger. What I'll say here is what we know outside here, not in your ministry. So the first thing, what we are doing now is quite recommendable. My colleague sent me the link for me to join the presentations today, of which I recommend a lot. It's something that we need to progressively do that. What I would like to talk about is the issue of LIM, okay? The issue of inspection, yes, up to getting approvals as of now, you take a lot of time. The 90 days, it's a lot of time. 1, 2. There are also a lot of corrupt practices. In fact, that's why I'm saying don't shoot the messenger. In fact, one of the ministries that is labeled too corrupt is the Minister of Lands. And you need to hear from us now. So one way is what we are doing now, the LIM issue, so that we have land information management system. But I've also seen another thing of scanning documents. If you're using the system, there's no need for someone to scan the documents. The reason we use the system is to make sure that we're having free human intervention.
Hello, maybe can I start responding to the questions on the chat?
Yes, please.
All right. There's a question from Tokozile saying, what happens to the land after the lease period is over and you are interested in continuing and draft a new one? You can apply for a lease renewal. So it doesn't mean that once, whether 21 years or 33 or 66 years ends, then you have no right on the land. The first right of renewal is still with you as a previous lessee.
We've lost the moderator. Okay, we are taking note of the questions. Very interesting questions. It's good that it's engaging like this. That's what we wanted, because we wanted people to voice out their concerns, because we know that people in the diaspora have a lot of questions which need to be answered. Now, there were some questions which we received in our email. We've asked the Commissioner for Lands to respond to that question. And if there's another question, I think because there are a lot of people here who are attending, the best way is to write the questions as you're doing in the comment section, because after this event, it's not like it doesn't end there. It doesn't end here. We'll still be attending to your questions as real estate talk, because we want to give people the right information. That's what we are doing. Now, if you have questions, the best way to do it, you can send us an email. We will assure you that these questions will be answered. But for us to answer each and every question here, to allow our commissioners to answer each and every question here, this will take a lot of time. But I can assure you, it is our duty to make sure that everyone understands land issues in Malawi. That's why we are having this webinar. And we appreciate you, because you have taken, but we didn't expect something like this. Now, for now, I think the best we can do is to allow the next presenter to have the presentation. But in terms of questions, I should emphasize this. In terms of questions, we are here for those questions. That's why we have this platform. This is your platform. Utilize it. Any land question, please don't hesitate. Just write it, and then we'll address each and every question.